Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan Battle video for you. In this video, we're going to be looking at how you can clear the 85th Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash. Recently, in the last couple of celebrations we've had, there have been some interesting changes to it. We've just had like only 3 bosses and they've had insane amounts of health and damage. This is kind of a return to form, back to normal, just with the 3 levels and the 10 bosses. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to be facing Devilman first. I would advise for level 1 just bringing the 3 free-to-play teams, so the Bardock team, the Clones team, as well as the Ginyu team. But you can probably swap in the Cooler team as well in there as well. But those 3 free-to-play teams I would bring. Devilman is going to be very, very simple. He reduces damage received, and he reduces damage received from extreme class by 90%. So do not bring an extreme class team, and this should be pretty easy. He's going to launch one big attack at the end there, but you should be able to nuke him down pretty easily with this team, and he's able to be stunned, he can be sealed, all of that. So yeah, a lot of the team in Bardock will be able to seal and stun, so you shouldn't have too much of a problem with this one. Moving on to the boss of the first level, Cleopatra, we are going to be using either you can use the Clones team here, or you can use the Ginyu team, either will be fine. He is going to be granting immunity to being stunned, so you can't stun him now, and he reduces damage received. But it is quite a small amount, and especially if you use the Clones team, you will absolutely blast through this with no issues whatsoever. Either free-to-play team should work without an issue. So let's jump on to level 2, that would have been level 1 completed. Alright, so on to level 2, we are going to be fighting against physical Yamcha. He's going to have a ability to grant immunity to being stunned, he's going to disable attack and defense reduction, and he also reduces damage received. So this should be one of your final free-to-play teams here. You can use against Yamcha or pretty much one of the other units, the other bosses in level 2. Shouldn't be a problem at all. They're not going to be hitting very hard, and if you use the Ginyu or the Clones team here, they are going to hit very hard, especially if you have the AGL Ginyu. Now, we can obviously still seal, which is great, and so you're going to get hit by a rogue super attack, but like I said, if you have AGL Ginyu, he should mince the stage without a problem. Even if you don't, the other ECAs and that should all do absolutely fine in this stage. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, moving on to Possessed Gohan here. He's going to be AGL, so we're going to be taking a nice tech team here. This team should, again, make mincemeat of this boss. He is going to be granting immunity to being stunned, disabling attack and defense reduction, and he reduces damage received. A lot of the bosses are going to look like this in level 2. So again, we can seal if that is going to be a problem, but there's some really nice defensive units on here as well, some dodge units, and we shouldn't really have any problem with this stage. If you are having an issue with this stage, just try and look for a unit that is going to seal if you're battling with the super, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. You can see that the low amount of attacks we're getting here from Gohan is actually managing to kill AGL Gohan, even though we're doing like 4 mil and that. So or you could just bring a full mono tech team as well. That wouldn't be a problem as well. Just try to shake it up a little bit here. And that will be the boss defeated. Let's move on to the next one. Moving on to Grand Supreme Kai, he's going to grant immunity to being stunned, disables attack and defense reduction, and reduces damage received. So much like the previous bosses, you can just run a full int mono team here. These units, they should be absolutely good, should tear this up. And if you are worried, you can run Chilai, which she will have an 80% chance to dodge in slot 1 there with a Scouter. So should be absolutely fine with no issue there. Obviously, he can't be stunned, so you can make sure you have sealers on your team if you are worried about getting hit by a super. But let's move on to the final boss here. Okay, we'll be moving on to stage 3 now. The first boss we're going to be fighting is STR Bardock. He is going to be ramping things up quite significantly now. They will be a lot harder to kill these bosses. They won't be going down as quickly, and they will have some more interesting mechanics and yeah, just be more difficult to kill, and will be hitting you a lot harder. So make sure you're bringing strong teams. The AGL Gogeta in here, he is a very strong unit. He's not 100% necessary, but if you do have him, it will make this a lot faster. So Bardock is going to be granting immunity to being stunned. He is going to disable attack and defense reduction. He reduces damage received, and he gets a big damage reduction boost when a character including the name Frieza is included. So that's why we're not taking an extreme team and putting, because there's quite a few AGL Friezas we can run, and we're just going to go super rather. But yeah, that is pretty much the reason why, because Frieza is going to massively boost his damage reduction rate, and that is not something we want to do. We do not want him to be any tankier than he is already. So if you do have Gogeta, just slap him in slot 1 and he should pretty much one turn this. But there are a lot of good AGL options that you can use. Now obviously Bardock can't be stunned, but sealing can help hugely. Don't discount how much sealing can help. So maybe just do a little check through on your filtering settings and check whose super attacks they have sealing on them, and make sure that you pop some of them into the team, because that is going to be a huge help. If he can't super, he's not going to be doing any damage to you whatsoever. But that'll be Bardock. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, next is going to be a physical Frieza. He is going to be granting immunity to being stunned. He reduces damage received. He gets an attack plus 20% boost per turn that passes, up to 100%. And then he gets a attack raise when there is a pure Saiyan's category character. So I didn't really avoid this one because it's not really easy to bring an STR team without a pure Saiyan in it. I didn't feel like building just only hybrid Saiyans, but I didn't find this too difficult. This team handled this quite readily, and you could also just bring, I mean, it is a mono red team, but a mono STR team, but you would probably be fine with just the mono leaders, although you might struggle a little bit for damage. So that is why I haven't gone just pure mono, and we've gone Kamehameha / Super Saiyans here, just to get that extra boost. But you've got some nice slot 1s in here. Frieza obviously can't be stunned, but he can have his attack and defense reduced. Obviously your attack and defense reduction will never outpace his attack plus 20%, so you're hoping to try kill him before that 5th turn till he gets that full 100% boost. And you can still seal him as well, so definitely want to take a look at what sealers you have in your STR team and bring them, because sealing will help so much here, and it's one of the main things that this fight is not immune to. Not just this specific fight, but this whole Virtual Clash, a lot of them aren't immune to sealing, and once you seal them, you're pretty much fine for those turns. But you do want to try kill Frieza as quickly as possible, so pop any actives you have. You can use that Gohan with the Kamehameha Gohan as well. You can pop that and collect as many orbs as possible, and he'll do a nice big attack as well. But hopefully you don't arrive that late into the fight that you are using that skill from him anyway. That LR STR Goku sort of Kaioken, the one that recently EZA'd, you'll see him on the next turn here. He is fantastic for this. You give him up as many STR orbs as possible, and he will just do a massive amount of damage, and he'll crit, and he should be good. He can take a lot of damage, so just be careful of trying to use him defensively. Even giving him orbs, it just doesn't get his defense's DR up enough. But this team does have more than enough damage on it to sort of make it through and kill Frieza here. So that is going to be it. And just in case you were confused, the slot 1 Goku here is what I was talking about. He can take a lot of damage if he gets supered in that, but he will just dish out so much damage, it can be worth it. So yeah, let's go on to the next boss here. Okay, moving on to Gohan and Piccolo here. They are going to disable immunity to being stunned, so they're going to be immune to be stunned. They disable attack reduction, they reduce damage received, and they lock character switching. So that is pretty annoying, probably the most irritating mechanic in all of Dokkan, to be honest. but there are some ways to work around it. We've specifically brought that Android 17 and 18 tech unit because they give you a free, pretty much on turn one, they'll give you a free Ghost Usher. So if you really get stuck when they, at least if they show up, you do have a chance to skip the entire turn and just go. Now this Frieza as well, this Frieza / Gogeta unit, he's great for this as well if you do have him, because he's got a taunt. So again, with the character switching locking, he will be able to nullify that, and you don't really care because he will just tank everything for you. But yeah, this tech team should do absolutely fine. This Texamasu, he's still great. Gets a lot of damage reduction, and obviously being type advantage helps a lot. He's not going to be dishing out much, unfortunately, anymore, but we can pray for his easy A and hope that it is going to be amazing. Amazing units, one of my favorite units, and I really hope they do easy AM well. One other unit to point out here is this Broly. He is going to be really great for this high damage reduction, and yeah, no, he's just great for it. So again, no stunning. You want sealers as much as possible to seal their super attack, and you can use units as well that lower defense, as that is not cancelled either, but I wouldn't build an entire team around it. At the end of the day, you just want big damage and easy aid units, and that's where we are going with this. On to the next one. Alrighty, next up we got Sinel and Purina, however on earth you say those names, but they are going to be disabling attack and defense reduction. They'll reduce damage received, they recover HP, so they have a skill that will recover HP at the beginning of the turn usually. They reduce damage below a certain amount to 0, so you need to hit a certain damage threshold to do any damage to them, and they also have a stacking attack buff, so they're going to get 10% attack with each turn passed, up to 50%, so on their 5th turn they will be hitting pretty hard. Not too bad of a boss. We are getting into more mechanics here, more to keep track of. Again, they can be sealed, and that helps a lot, especially with their healing. That can nullify that. They won't be able to use that skill, and it'll just make things a lot easier not having to contend with that if you can seal them. Now, this team should readily handle this. We got some very high damage units, and we got some really great defensive units as well. Your only real option to nullify mechanics here is going to be sealing, as everything else is pretty much your attack and defense reduction is cancelled. It'll be reducing damage below a certain amount, so you need to make sure that you're hitting hard enough. But yeah, get it done with this team, and it should be good. Absolutely fine. Do watch out for this this Gohan here, the int one. He should be fine with a good number of orbs, but he can take a lot of damage as well if you're not careful. So yeah, it might be better to just, probably should have slapped in the God Goku there and taken my chances with the dodge rather. I think we take quite a bit of damage with int Gohan there, even though he can do a lot of damage, which is very nice. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this boss, and we'll move on to the final boss, which is going to be Trunks. Now, Trunks is a bit of a beefy boy. He is going to grant immunity to being stunned. He nullifies super attack sealing effects. He reduces damage received. He may evade your attacks. I think it's a 17 or 18% chance, which is pretty significant for a boss. And his attack is going to be lowered when a character whose name includes Gohan Future is on the team. So I wouldn't advise, you can throw Gohan Future onto your fire team and you should be fine, but I just kind of went for this team here. Now you'll see there are two teams. I did make a bit of a mistake right at the end where I was about to kill, and unfortunately we got hit by a super and it just took us too low. But for the most part, if you don't make that same mistake, and that mistake was not trusting Vegito Blue to counter or to dodge, which he would have because he gets such a high chance against a super, then you should be fine as well. It's almost guaranteed, if not guaranteed, that the first attack in the turn will be a super, so you want your turn 1 to be able to handle that by either dodging or countering, and that's where Vegeta Blue really comes in clutch, and he will get those dodges off, get those extra extra defense when he's getting supered and his chance to counter and all of that. Very, very useful to have. The other slot one I would advise that you use is going to be most likely the Goten and Trunks, because they can evade. They may get you killed, but once they start building up a little bit of evasion, if you're lucky, they should be fine. And then if you do roll around to getting their active turn, they have guaranteed dodge, which is fine. But if you have managed to make it this far, hopefully you do have a couple more teams available. Now, your extra teams, I would just build out whatever category teams you can. Don't worry anymore about monos or anything like that. Just bring like at least 3 or 4 extra strong teams. So I brought the GT bosses / super bosses team because I know that that team is going to absolutely clean up anything, and they are just so powerful. So I knew I'd be able to throw them on something if I made a mistake, and I did, and they just wrecked it, and we were absolutely fine. So here you'll see, unfortunately, we didn't dodge with our Goten and Trunks duo. They do have a good chance to dodge. It's not that high, it's 50%, and then they gain chance every time they evade. So hopefully they have had a little bit of a chance to evade before, but if it is a super right off slot 1, that is can catch you off guard. Luckily they were able to survive, and they put up very, very nice damage numbers. Honestly, we could have won here if it wasn't for my little mistake at the end there. I should have just believed in the heart of the cards here and trusted that Blue Vegeta was going to handle us, no issue. But doesn't matter, we got the win in the end with the second team, and that didn't hurt us in any way. So yeah, that is how you clear the Virtual Dokkan Clash that's currently live. I hope this has helped. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.